Yo, what is up everybody? As you can see, I'm back with another part to the What If Naruto Went Back in Time. Sorry if I sound a little tired, it's because, insomnia. I haven't gone to sleep in like 36 hours, so hey, I'm gonna get this video done and then I'll go to sleep. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this part. Naruto walks into the room. He immediately begins to think, huh, this seems very similar or reminiscent of my own classroom. Honestly, it seems the ninja just like to keep the bare minimum. That makes sense, I agree. As he goes and proceeds to walk up to the main class as the teacher announces him, the teacher begins to speak. Hello class, as you can see, we have a new student today. I will allow him to introduce himself. Go ahead. Suddenly Naruto begins to speak. Hello everyone. My name is Naruto. Naruto Otsuki. Now, you might be wondering, why am I giving him Otsuki as the last name? Well, really no one knows who the Otsuki is, though, at least by the last name whatsoever. They didn't know who Kaguya was or anything. And since he found out about this, he can't go with Uzumaki, otherwise he doesn't have the blood relation, so it'd be a dishonor. So he went with Otsuki since that's his actual blood line relation. Teacher says, go take your seat, please, as he points towards the back, showing an empty seat with no one next to Naruto. Naruto likes this as he proceeds to go back and just kind of sit there thinking to himself, based off of this time frame, I should only have about a week left of academy. And if I am not mistaken, the seniors should be coming in, right? From what I remember, they used to have this senior program where the Anbu members, or the ones that might make it into the Anbu, would go there, and they would actually come back. Kind of giving a little bit of information or insight on how to become a better Anbu member. Telling you why it's a good thing. If I'm not mistaken, of course, Naruto thinks to himself. 3 days have passed, and Naruto is basically prepared for the actual exams. As he walks in and sits down in the back of the class, the teacher begins to speak. Today, guys, this actual ceremony will be held differently. It'll actually be held by the Anbu members, the recently taken in ones, the seniors, you guys like to call them. Now, Naruto's taken off guard by this. He doesn't remember this ever being in the history books. That's weird. Whatever, I never really paid attention to that anyways, he says. Suddenly a girl dressed in black, wearing an Anbu mask, walks in, beginning to speak. Alright, runts, listen up. I'm gonna be basically the progenitor of this exam. All of you guys are gonna be doing the same thing that everyone else does, yearly. We're just gonna simply see if you can do a clone test, and if you can, you become a Genin. But we've recently come across a problem. One team member has died in a future or last year's class. So therefore, I need one of you to prove yourselves as worthy enough to be placed on, the Yellow Flash's team. They're all very taken aback by this. The whole room goes silent. She suddenly begins to continue on with her speech. Alright, well, simply put, I need one of you guys to stop being a pussy and just simply come up here and fight me. That'll be the reason. If you're able to put up a decent foothold against me, then you're gonna be put on that team. Now, Naruto seeing this, he's like, alright, well, this is an opportune time. Honestly, going on some random team wouldn't be the best, but I do want to test out these new abilities, and if I can prove myself as a name, I'll have more power over the village, making it so I can bend it more towards my will. At least that's what he's thinking. So he ends up standing up. After everyone was so silent, he stands up and he says, I'll do it. Everyone looks over. This new student is immediately just putting up his hand. They have no idea what's going on. She's like, oh, really? Aren't you that kid that just woke up? He's like, yeah, I guess. But I'm more than willing to go against you. She's like, sorry, I don't deal with runts. Please go sit back down. Well, why don't we see if I'm actually a runt? Naruto says. She suddenly gets a little smirk underneath her mask. Okay, I like your style, kid. Meet me out at the training field. Only the exam prognators can actually come, though. So, basically everyone else is stuck in the classroom, wondering what's going to happen as he goes out into the field, waiting for her. She eventually comes in, and she's like, alright, kid, let's get this done and over with. She pulls out one of her katanas and holds it into the air, right in front of her. Come at me. Before she could even say anything, he's suddenly behind her. He bats her with one strong hit, sending her flying into the wall. Everyone is shocked. It seems that he naturally knew how to enhance his muscles with this chakra, the immense amount that is actually greater than the Nine Tails probably. He rushes forward again, grabbing her by her throat, holding her into the air, but she immediately slams downward, breaking his arm, actually shattering his entire arm.
He jumps back in just pure shock, and she just gives a little cough of blood dripping from her mask. It immediately heals his arm, though. I mean, after all, he does have enhanced regeneration. He's able to heal in about a minute or so. That's pretty fucking good, honestly. She comes in trying to attack Naruto again, using the katana, slicing. He's just dodging with relative ease. And then eventually, she actually does hit his body with the katana, slicing down. But he coated his entire body, making a little shell of armor for it. And he did know her fighting style. He used his actual dojutsu on her, so that he found out every, information on her. "Aya knows your name, right?" he says. "How do you know that?" she says, replying. "Oh, well, it's my dojutsu." She notices that his eyes are glowing. She doesn't really know, and it's a little hard for her to comprehend this. I mean, after all, she's never heard of someone to have that ability with a dojutsu. She's only heard of the Hyuga and the Uchiha and maybe the Katsuria clan, and that's about it. She continues on as he begins to list off her things. "You trained for about 5 years in swordsmanship. You're a prodigy among prodigies, it seems. You're not only just a normal human being, you're basically a fucking Uchiha. You were actually a hybrid, that's why you were ostracized from the clan. So, that's why you decided to join the Anbu, since you were emotionally damaged. You possess one of the best Sharingan out there, even obtaining the Mangekyo from your mother's belated death, and then your father's just abandoning of you. I don't really know what the Mangekyo is, but I do know that it entails great power, especially since I can tell that you're holding back. So why don't you show me what you're capable of?" She gives a little smirk underneath her mask. "Kid, I don't know really what your fucking dojutsu is, but it's a little aggravating knowing that you know my entire life story now, so I'm gonna shut you up." As she pulls out her other katana, beginning to dual wield, she suddenly activates her Mangekyo ability, coating the blades in this black flame, very reminiscent of the Amaterasu. The only difference is that she's only able to, actually, use it on her blades. The difference being, with this small down effect where it's only got one, or defect where it only has one ability, she doesn't go blind with it. She's unable to go blind simply because she's a hybrid, I guess. It's something no one else has experienced, and she doesn't let anyone know about her actual Mangekyo abilities whatsoever. She rushes towards Naruto. Everyone knows this is the death flames, or at least that's what they assume it is, because when it does touch him, the flames just don't seem to be extinguished. She slices downward, leaving a little cut that is very reminiscent of Ichigo's Getsuga Tensho, slicing outward, or actually touching Naruto's body, setting him aflame. But he simply can just regenerate at a faster rate than they do deteriorating his body, making it so he can put out the flames. A perfect counter, it seems. She's surprised by this, and suddenly he uses his power to enhance his muscles, and he actually collides with her mask, shattering it into pieces. Now Naruto, being able to read her mind, knows, or actually know everything about her, knows that the fact is, no one knows her actual face. And that's very essential for an Anbu, and she doesn't want anyone to know what she looks like. So he simply just covers her face up with his jacket, leaving her there, unconscious, and then kicking her awake with a little nudge. She ends up waking up and piecing together her mask real shortly, so that she can get back up. She acknowledges that she lost, and she says that he's strong, and she might like to get to know him later on. She still can't believe she lost to someone like this. Someone so strong. A day passes by, and Naruto is sleeping in his bed in his house. Surprisingly, it was the same exact house that he had in his own world, or his own timeline. It's quite the coincidence, he thinks. Then he hears a knock on the door. He goes and opens it and sees the same lady that he actually fought prior. Ayano. "What do you want?" he asks. She's like, "Hey, brat. I'm here to actually tell you some information. Basically, I'm gonna be your guard, or actually I'm gonna be watching you. I mean, the third Hokage and everyone else is quite surprised at your remarkable skill, and the fact that you could just surely wake up like that. So, I'm gonna be put on guard duty on you. So, we're gonna get to know each other. I'm gonna be crashing at your place," she says as she walks in and drops down her stuff. He's like, "Wait, what do you mean you're crashing at my place?" She's like, "Exactly what I said. You beat me in a duel, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna be the one watching you. I won't be taken off guard next time. You're pretty good, kid, but I don't think you're as good as me." He's like, "You're only like 18 years old. Stop calling me a kid. I'm 16. She's like, "Whatever, kid." He's like, "Alright, fuck. What team am I on, by the way?" "Oh, the Yellow Flash's team. You know, Minato, basically the future 4th Hokage. Everyone's saying it now, so It's probably gonna happen. The kid, or the dude, is actually just fucking godly among gods. Like, that's what he is. He's just literally a god. Alright, what you say, he says, and he ends up walking back over to his bed and begins to lay down. And that's where we're gonna leave this part off on. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Sorry for not posting. I ended up doing the first half in the beginning, like yesterday, and now this is the back end. So yeah, sorry for not posting it yesterday. I was tired and almost passed out during the thing. So yeah, I'm out.